Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show. Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Sol, good morning. Babna Reddy, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine, Sandra, everybody, good morning. Good morning, you lot. I'm in my house. It is the first show ever to come to you live from Casadel Wallace, the IATQ Beehive HQ. How are you? Come on in. Come and get a cuddle this morning. We have internet, and I wanted to celebrate us having internet. Although I don't have a desk, although I don't have an office, so I'm sat on the floor. You are propped up on the drinks trolley, no less. But you are in the living room in my house. So welcome into Shea Dani. You are most welcome. Come on in and get a Friday cuddle, shake your bums. It is Friday. We made it through another week in lockdown, peeping on the other end of it with all of the excitement of a kid at Christmas. Who is excited about getting their who's excited about getting their getting their hair cut? I've got to send a little. I forgot. I've needed to do something. I want to invite. I've got two guests on this morning. So give me just a second whilst I send the correct link. In my excitement coming to you from the house, I've not sent this to this person. Hang on a second. Right, there we go. Did you lose me, or did I go? Did I come back? I'm here. I've completely forgot to send the link that I need to send to one of our guests at the first part of this morning. So my apologies to the gorgeous Eve Phillips, who's going to be joining us any second. Fingers crossed that she gets the link. And we've also got Raine joining us this morning. We're going to be talking about all things mindset and mental health in business this morning. We have got tons and tons and tons to pack in to our 45 minutes together on the show at Rise Up Show. Let me know in the comments what you are excited about next week. Who's got the hair booked in? Who's got their eyebrows booked in? Who has got their stuff booked in? Let me know who is looking forward to next week as lockdown eases once again a little bit closer to some sort of normality, whatever that looks like. Eves, I see you in the back there, my darling. I've got for you another one of our incredible speakers for Be Inspired coming to join us this morning just for a couple of minutes whilst we share our excitement together before we bring Kim on. So yeah, I'm excited. You're in my house. Debbie Marks is getting her nails done. Nina can't wait for her nails and her hair to be done. Our Facebook user, whoever you are, excited for the shops to be open to go for a peruse around the non-essential items instead of having to just go to the Asda's. I'm excited. Ridiculous things to be excited about. Getting my kids the school shoes. There's been no way I really can't be bothered buying shoes online than being the wrong size and having to send them back. It's a faff that I don't have time for. So I'd much rather take them into somewhere like Clark's and have them go and try the shoes on, and then we walk out with the right pair of shoes. So I'm very excited about a massage. Oh, I love it. Who's getting a massage? Yeah, very, very exciting. We can kind of feel it. Is anybody feeling a little bit of trepidation about this? Is anybody feeling a little bit unnerved? Because all feelings are valid. I'm sat on the floor with my legs crossed. I'm getting pins and needles in my bum already, so I'll have to find a good way for me to be comfortable. Hopefully by Monday we'll have the office set up so that I can actually come to you not from my phone, actually from the like our normal setup, but lift it up and put it here. Who's feeling a little bit of trepidation? Pixie, I'm excited to go to Manchester, but that's not until June 21st anyway. Yeah, I absolutely get that. June 21st is like the big free-for-all. Other than that, I'm not ready. We're not ready. I am so ready. But enough of that. I want to bring in the first of our guests this morning. as we talk all things Be Inspired for just a second. Yvonne Phillip in the house. Hello, you.
Hey, you.
Here she is.
I was getting Dani, I'm so happy to be in your house. Is this the first?
You're in my house. I've just said to Kim's going to be really disappointed. Like, she's my first guest in my house, but you're actually my first guest in my house on the show.
First in the house. Oh my God. You know what? I'm so excited. When I just saw the fireplace behind you, I was like, oh my God, she's going live from the house.
We're in the house. We've got the green sofa. It's just here. It feels beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Dani, your decor is amazing. I was kind of like, that's what I want. She's got it.
Wallace wasn't sure, you know. I mean, you are a style guru. So coming from you, that is high praise indeed, because you have the eye. But yeah, it's interesting. I was just saying to Kim backstage that trying to explain to Wallace what I wanted to do in here, he was having none of it. It was like, Dani, this is going to be some sort of nana's living room. It's not going to be cool at all. I'm like, shut up. I'm gonna get the things. Just shush. Trust me. You can't visualize anyway. The guy's like, he's genuinely on the spectrum. He's autistic. He can't visualize stuff. I'm like, mate, it's okay. I've got it.
He does such great visuals.
He does. I think that's because he has to create them. He has to make them to see them like in front of him. He's incredibly talented the way that he works. But for those of you who don't know,
I love the way it goes through the living room into the conservatory. And then all the into the living. I was like, I'm sat there and I'm picturing the way your house is set up. You know, like when you did the little thing, and I'm just like, it goes so well. I
just can't wait for you lot, my friends, to come round and have a cup of tea at my island. But it's enough of that, because we've got some very exciting things to be talking about this morning.
We do.
You are one of our speakers on day 2. Of Be Inspired. Day 2 of Be Inspired. And I cannot wait. Tell us a little bit, just give us a little teaser into your talk.
So I am going to be talking about code switching and the wholeness of success. And it's, for you that don't know what code switching is, come and buy your ticket and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
But it's about, how we change to adapt for others. But in doing that, we lose part of ourselves.
Right.
For us to be successful, and for us to be the success that we want, need, and deserve. And as you know, Dani, success is different for different people. For some people, it's money. For some people, it's accolade. Some people, it's just living a comfortable life. Some people, it's just contentment. We have to be and think about our whole self. So that's what my topic is about, really, how we can stop code switching and embrace our uniqueness.
I love it. And it's been an absolute pleasure working with you through the process of getting ready for Be Inspired. It's such a joy. It's such a joy to work with you.
You know what? We know we're doing this online, and I know that you normally do this in person, but it's going to raise the profile of your whole movement so much, Dani. And it's been such an honor. I'm so glad that I selected you. It was the right decision when I selected you to be, my coach, because the other women that you have attracted alongside me are absolutely amazing. And I absolutely love our cohort. We're loud, we're brash, but we're also a sisterhood at the same time. We don't take no ish from each other, but at the same time, the next, we're all arms and holding each other, accountable, but moving each other forward. So I'm really, really excited about the day. And I'm also excited to get out of my house and get out of London. I'm not going to lie. Despite the fact that I'm only going to Coventry.
Well, the very thought that we can actually create this in a really safe way. And one of the things it was heartbreaking back in September for the people that are speaking on day 1. These are people that now we've been in this position working together now for 12 months. It should only have been 6 months in the first instance. And we had to cancel it. It was going to be in real life. And I remember at the time thinking, well, we could take it online, but I wanted it to be perfect for everybody, for you guys sitting at home that are going to be watching this, but also for the speakers and their experience, on the stage as well. Like, I really like to create that fantastic experience, not just for the audience, but for the speakers. And I think that's what we've managed to do really well using Istead Studios in Coventry. And I think that's That's the really that we're going to create some real magic. It's nothing that anybody's seen in our community for sure, in terms of like delivery.
Absolutely, because you know I'm on another mastermind with Kim, and Kim was like, oh, you know, I've got to be on a call with Dani at 9:30, and I was like, well, I'm gate crashing. So you know, I was like, I'll see you at 9:30, and then she was like, oh my God, are you speaking? And it's really, I think it's creating, the fact that it's online is creating greater awareness about the whole movement, about, you know, what you're doing. And I think that doing things in person is great. That energy is amazing, but having that online element is just, it's just taking things, the awareness to another level. So things happen for the right reasons, and that's what we've got to, you know, to understand. You're creating something absolutely amazing, and I'm just honored to be a part of it. I really am.
I cannot wait to have you on that. What and also what you've got to share on that stage in the day. Like, this is something that, you know, you and I have been working on, and you've been working on it. I've been just kind of adjusting the sails a little bit. This is all you. What you've got to share and the value that you've got to bring as part of your talk is going to be so valuable to every single person. There's not one person who's like, I know who's bought a ticket. Every single person who's bought a ticket, they're going to find value and inspiration and motivation in what you've got to say. So I'm really thrilled. I'm so excited to get you on there, get you fired up. I know you're going to bring the energy. Bob, fill it.
I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. And you know what stimulated me even more is the fact that we are all in this quest to raise £10,000 for Fly Anyway Foundation.
Yeah.
That's, you know, really deep rooted in my heart that, you know, if we can do good, be good, you know, and show other people and support other people, that's amazing. So, you know, I'm so glad to be out there supporting that element as well. It's kind of like, it's not even the icing on the cake. It's not even the cherry on the top. It's kind of the wholeness of it going back.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if we think about everybody who is involved with being inspired, be it an audience member, be it a speaker, myself, and of course the people from the Fly Anyway Foundation who will benefit, our business builders, off of the back of the sponsorship that we do, the, you know, percentage ticket sales, all of that sort of stuff. It is just, it's like you say, it's so congruent with what you're talking about in terms of wholeness. It's just a massive ball of awesome. Like, there's no one person that's involved that's not going to be affected on a really deep level. So yeah, absolutely.
And I think that, you know, people that are saying, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, blah blah blah, it's £89, not including VAT, or is that including
plus VAT?
Plus VAT. So 100 and something.
106. I think it's £106.40, something like that.
£106.40. But think about, you've got those 2 days, probably 20 hours of personal and professional development,
right,
from people from all walks of life. And that's what's amazing about this, you know, the show, is when I looked at the lineup, I was like, oh my goodness, there's not one, as you say, not one person that can't benefit. And you keep that for a lifetime. That's all yours. You know, all the time, with our downloads, our freebies, and I'm even throwing in a little bit bonus if you buy.
You're a little cheeky sausage, yes.
Yeah. Come and get a style, have a day of style with me. Won't be coming out. Well, you know what we're like. We've all got the lockdown look on, haven't we? Like,
I'm wearing my matching Asda's active non-active wear.
Non-active wear, did you call it, Dani?
I've been active in this.
You've been what?
I'm not being active in this. Oh, I'm being actively awesome in this, but other than that, I'm not being active.
I thought you said I'm wearing my Asda inactive outfit, from the inactive range. I was like,
yeah, this is inactive wear. This is not wear to be active in.
Well, you know what? You look fabulous anyway. So, you know, I've got a day of style coming up in May, which is a month after. For people, as we're coming out of lockdown, a lot of people have lost weight, put on weight. They're like, you know what? I want to come out as a different person. I want to do all, you know, I heard you talking about what you're going to do when you come out. I want to do everything. I want to go shopping. I want to go
all of it.
Just give it to me. But a lot of people, you know, if you're thinking, you know what? It's been a year now. I'm just going to, this is my time to shine. I'm ready to up level my style, my confidence, etc. Buy a ticket from me, free day of style, a whole day with me.
Yes.
In a group setting, it's going to be fun and fabulous. So
Eve, will you do me a favour? Will you be able to drop your link in the comments so that the people tell us about your offer. If we get a ticket from you, you get access to this day of style.
Yes, so a day of style is a group day. Ideally, we could do it in person, but I don't feel comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
I'm not, so we'll do it online, and it's for people that want to take their style to the next level. So the style in terms of what they wear, what they look like. Now, we may say it's superficial, but 7 seconds to create a first impression, most of that's visual. So what you're wearing, whether you'll be an entrepreneur, employee, or mum, is really, really, important for your own self-confidence as well. So style, find out your body shape, your colorings, what outfits are good for you. We can go through kind of like what type of stars are going to suit your brand, and we are all a brand. We have a little bit of a rummage through the wardrobe. Love as it. Well. I'm a sustainable stylist, so I'm all about let's find out what's in your arsenal before we go and buy anything from the shop.
Buy new,
Absolutely. We all get feedback from each other, and then when we know where we want to go next and what steps we need to take. So it's really, really fun, fabulous. You can come with cakes, wine, cocktails, whatever, or a cup of tea.
Louise is one of our speakers. She's like, I'm buying a ticket off Eve's. Everyone stop what they're doing. Go and get Eve's link to be inspired, because not only do you get that, you get that as well. Just as an FYI for anyone watching, the Rockstar Level Up, actually, with the mastermind that I did with the phenomenal Nikki James, you came in and did one of these styling days with us, and it was just off the shizzle. We had an absolute blast, and B, the 20 people that we had as part of the Rockstar Level Up, you taught them so much, and it was just phenomenal to see. And also how they then went on to start applying the things that they learned with you actually into their brands as well, which was just fantastic.
And and when I see those ladies, because obviously some of them followed me and I followed them back afterwards, I can see the difference in when they were like during the Rockstar Level Up, when I did the style with them, and then obviously when they finished and the book came out, you can see that progression of what they did. So lovely to see that as well. So free day of style.
All right, so Eves is going to sort us out with her link. She's going to pop it in the comments here. If you can't find the link in the comments, go and connect with Eves and go and grab hold of her affiliate link. That is what the shenanigans that she's offered to you. Eve, I love you. I cannot wait to see you in just a couple of weeks. Actually, today or 2 weeks today will be day 2. 2 weeks today, you are going to be on the Be Inspired stage, Mrs.
Excited. I'm really, really excited. Nervous and excited all at the same time. I hope to see all of you gorgeous people, whether you're on Dani's page, in the Hive, no matter on her personal page. It's going to be amazing. Hope to see you.
I love you. We'll see you later. We're going to get ready to bring our next guest in just now. All right. So we're going to fly into our next guest. Raine is joining us this morning, sharing it with us all about mental health and mindset, and also scaling your business. We've got you here, Kim. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. I can't believe she got in the house before me.
I know, she cheeky sausage, isn't she? I completely forgot. They've made plans with all of our co-op. Like every morning, they're going to come in. They're going to like talk about all the exciting stuff that they've got to share. Oh shit! I lied to you. You big super. But you're the second one in. So Eve's warmed it up for you, and now we're all toasty in the living room.
And now we're all cozy.
We saved you a little seat on my green sofa. We warmed it up for your bum.
Lovely.
Kim, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here on the show, Rise Up Show. Tell us more about what you do.
Well, I'm a mind, body and confidence coach, and predominantly working with sort of high-flying women, CEOs, entrepreneurs, women either hitting their 6 figures or trying to hit their 6 figures, or just mostly women that are just juggling everything in life and that have prioritized everything but themselves.
Right.
We go on and we want to have a business, we want to have it all, and in order to have it all, something has to give, and it's us, and it's our health, and it's our well-being, and things start to show, and that. So I work with I do work with men sometimes. I like working with men, but my passion is working with women, because we're superhumans. Men just aren't as good as us.
We love you, men. We do.
Yeah, sorry, men. I didn't mean that. I absolutely didn't mean that. But women have so many plates to spin.
Right. We do. There's a lot of expectation on us, however we look at it. And whilst we do acknowledge our king bees in the house, and we do know that you have got plates to spin, absolutely. But there is never any taking away. And I think the news is even saying that now. Like, if we look at the plates that we've got to spin with regards to making notes of what we wear, and, you know, to avoid sexual harassment and all these things, layer on layer on layer of things that we have to spin in order to, you know, maintain success, garner success, create abundance, all of these things, you know, the trappings of a good life. We do have additional plates to spin. There are different expectations on us. We're still stuck in that, like, even homemaker versus businesswoman situation.
That's the thing. And I think what I'm saying, guys, okay, don't hang me out to dry, boys.
Put your pitchforks down, fellas.
Yeah, back. But what I'm saying is, with women as well, we have all those expectations of us, and physiologically we have differences. We have hormones that rage through us at various times in our life that really have a huge impact on us. And so we have that other level. And like I say, guys do have it, but not to that extent. And for women, the home role physiologically is something that we're breaking out of that. And we're breaking out of that in so many ways. And it's so empowering and brilliant that we are. Mm-hmm. But there are times when it's like, actually, at a physiological level, we are still the carers. You know, that's our predominant role. You know, that's what predominantly we do. And I work with women where they're at that place where they're wanting to be so much more, but there's something just holding them back and stopping them. And sometimes it can be that, you know, it's just our makeup, if that makes sense.
And it's understanding and embracing that. I think there's, like, if we look at, you know, because this is broadly, we're looking at feminism here, aren't we? We're looking at the creation of equality, or the empowerment of everybody in order for them to make the decisions that they really want to in life. And it kind of comes through in waves. In the first instance, it's like we're wanting everything to be equal, and I don't think it's everything to be equal. It's for us to have the choice, so we can go from, you know, in the 60s where we're bra burning and all of that sort of stuff and ripping up the rule book, but actually it's you know, we can maintain femininity and lead, we can maintain femininity and be strong, we can maintain femininity and do all of these things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we've always, you know, really we've always led, but we're just being given our voices, and with that has come a lot of extra pressure that is maybe not seen on the surface,
right,
and the way underneath. And so the women that I work with are, you know, they're the ducks that are on the top of the water and the legs are going like crazy, you know, and they're trying to juggle the family, expectations, careers, and you know, their roles. And then they're not sleeping at night, and they're finding themselves overwhelmed. And most of my demographic are perimenopausal, menopausal. Right. So there's this whole change going through them that is that they might have heard about. But
it's the unspoken bit that, especially perimenopause, can last like 15 years. Yeah.
Well, most women, so perimenopause is going to start kicking in. It can come early, but for most women, it's going to start kicking in around the 40s. Early 40s. And if you think, a lot of the women that I work with have spent their 30s building their careers, having children. Some have been through whatever that's entailed, that journey. You know, some have been through IVF, so a lot of hormones going on, a lot of all sorts of things that we've got to get to this place. You know, I'm speaking from experience. I did all this and burnt out. This is why I'm so passionate, because you get to this where your body can't keep up with your life and the expectations you're putting on yourself. And so we, you know, perimenopause starts around 40, and you might start to feel a few changes. I'm going to be 48 this year, and it's kicking, you know, the changes are starting to ramp up.
You can feel it.
Yeah, and the average age for menopause in the UK is 51. For most, kind of go through the menopause, as in, you know, no periods for a year, sort of thing. And it brings around a lot of stuff that comes with it, a lot of knocks in the confidence, you know, and particularly in the workplace, because it's not spoken about. And you know, so there is that extra layer. So that's kind of where I come in. And
yeah, and there are certain symptoms with perimenopause and menopause, you know, as you move towards it, that can be quite scary. That can make you like you say, that can make you question where you're at. And I'm so lucky that at 37, I'm having conversations with people like you, Gloria Samantha Coles, Lauren Turin out there, all of these women who are actually bringing these conversations to the table, so that when I get there, and it's only a few short years away, it's not gonna be frightening for me, and I'm going to know how to navigate it.
And the truth is, it's awesome. It's brilliant, because what is happening in your body is the hormones that have, you know, that in your 30s, that, you know, going back to what I was saying about, you know, women, we have estrogen. Estrogen is a hormone that makes us care, and it makes everyone in front of ourselves, particularly our children, but our partner, everything, you know, and it's the hormone that it makes us care. Guys, we have testosterone, but guys predominantly have testosterone. That's the hunting hormone. That's the, I'm going to go out and get it done. And you know, when I've coached men aren't lying awake at night wondering why their child didn't get an invite to the party, and is that going to affect them socially somehow, and is that going to, do you know what I mean? We have this sort of, and then that starts to fall away, and it's like, oh, this is, I
love it that we not about caring less, but like not giving as much of a shit.
Now I'm sort of looking at my kids and thinking, well, you need to go through that. You know, you can build a bit of resilience. You'll be all right. I know you'll be all right. And I have this different take on it to lying awake at night thinking, oh, like, you know,
is everything I'm doing damaging? And the answer's yes. It will do anyway.
Yeah, I had a client, you know, lots of clients throughout the last year, and homeschooling and managing businesses and careers and stuff. And, you know, and a lot of them sharing the roles equally, you know, the guys stepping up and helping, and it's been shared. But the women have been the ones that are, you know, but he doesn't seem to be, he doesn't care like I care. And it's not that he, and I say, it's not he doesn't care. It's not he doesn't care. He doesn't care the same way that you do. He's got a different way of doing it. Your model, we tend to catastrophize a little bit more, because that's what
you know, we want to protect, and we want to nurture, and we want to make sure that we create the environments that is right for that. And this is, you know, even if we, you know, speaking to our, you know, non-binary siblings, people out there who move within the fluidity of masculine and feminine, it is that it's not that your partner doesn't care, it's caring in different ways, and the understanding that is the way that we communicate that is really so important as well. Because often we find, you know, women moving into their 30s, late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, 50s, that's when like loggerheads start happening, because you start to not care a little bit less, but you become more focused on different things.
Yeah, it's more about you. And I think you raise a really good point, actually, as to, you know, whoever we're talking about is we fill in blanks for other people. And so we assume, you know, we look at the world through our eyes and through our perspective. And so, you know, how often do you find yourself in an argument with like, well, you don't care like I do, and we're filling all the blanks in for this person, and we're not them. We don't know how they feel.
No, and it ends up almost like a one-upmanship, like who cares the most? Well, actually, no. Let's look at the things that you do. But it's an interesting conversation that me and Wallace have had of late around how we communicate with each other. And it's only very recently they found that he's actually on the autistic spectrum, and the way that formerly my expectations of him weren't appropriate for his neurotype, and his expectations of me, because he didn't realize his expectations of me weren't appropriate for my neurotype. So no wonder we were getting to positions where we were just like, so the more that we understand ourselves and the more we allow ourselves to talk, and that has had a huge impact on our relationship and how we get on, but also our business and how we work together as well. And I think that ownership of how you communicate, and that not filling in the blanks and seeking to understand, is probably one of the really strong things that we can do, right?
Yeah, absolutely vital. And I think that, you know, again, in the last, well, not just in the last year, but particularly last year, you know, I've coached men and women about relationships, because we have been pushed together in quite intense circumstances.
Yeah.
It's brought all sorts of stuff to the surface. And, you know, I've had conversations about, well, he this and he that, and or she this and she that. And you have to go, right, just stop a minute. Because what happens, like the conversations you're talking with you and your partner, you then build up all these stories and these walls and these boundaries. And so actually the boundaries end up keeping them out and you in, and then you're not. And so many times when I've worked with clients, it's like, actually, you don't want to leave your partner. You just want to get back to being your true self with your partner and allowing them to do the same. And it's having what you said, those conversations, because they're so important. But so many people don't, because the resentment builds and the barriers build and the walls build and things break down. So it's so important to have those conversations.
So what brought you, Kim, to the work that you do? What brought you to working within the space that you work within now?
I think it was predominantly my journey, you know, for me. And I've just always been really passionate about, you know, I've been doing this for 15 years in various guises. So I've helped women, you know, my background was, I started as a personal trainer. But people used to say like, oh God, you know, I bet you were captain of the sports team and all of that at school. I was so not that. I managed my weight in my 20s through sex and drugs and rock and roll. I can remember going to, you know, fitness class, having a bag on the way there, going in the class, having to go to the loo 3 times because I was so out of breath, coming out, going and getting a curry. You know, I was not that person. But through my own journey of learning to put my own health and well-being first, that sort of built for me. And then from that, building up a business, being that person in my 30s that was trying to be everything to everyone, looking really, you know, all of the expectations that we just spoke about, and burning out and you know, nearly losing. My dog's going to bark like mad in a minute because someone's about to come to my door to my dad.
That's all right. I'm really surprised that mine haven't barked yet. I've asked to come in here yet, so we're doing all right. So don't worry, it's all good. We are family friendly, including puppies.
So yeah, and you know, and then I burnt out, and suddenly, you know, when you lose your energy, because my energy was on the floor, really was, and my hormones and everything, then my priority about my health shifted again. And you know, and I'd talk to women about it before, lots of times, about, you know, you've got to work careful you don't burn out, and then I did it myself.
Right, because we do, and we are, so many of us, and I know lots of you watching the show are guilty of this. I see you little sausages, that we have these phenomenal businesses and we share incredible things, particularly those of us in the service industry. It takes a whole heap of focus to allow yourself to hold the mirror up and say, actually, am I modeling and walking the walk? Because the things that you're telling your clients are things that you know out of knowledge and experience and all that we do. This is why we get into service industry. This is why we move through, you know, coaching or, you know, wellness or whatever it is field that we work in within the service industry. We do this often because, like you said, we have these experiences and we go, whoa, this is game changer. We need to tell everybody about this stuff because it switches the game up. And then we forget that actually the reason why we found it revelationary in the first place is because we applied it to ourselves. And then we have to remember that as cobblers, we cannot have shit shoes. Can't go around making Louis Vuittons for everyone and you're walking around with your nicks and the flapping like this. You know what I mean? We need to be looking after our shoes if we're going to make shoes for other people.
Absolutely. And it, you know, it happens, and I see it, you know, so now that took me on a journey where I had to really change. I had to really step back and look at the way I was living my life, how I was balancing my work-life balance, the expectations I had of myself.
Right.
The fear is you hold on because you think, I can't let go because I'm going to all fall apart. And actually falling apart for me was the best thing that happened, because I've built myself stronger, you know, healthier. I'm show up much better in my business. You know, I'm much more focused in my business. I'm in my output's greater and everything, but I have boundaries around what I'm doing. And sometimes I push them because that's being in business, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't do it to play safe, do we? Otherwise we just go to work for someone.
But if you want to be able to push those boundaries, you've got to be making sure that you've got the top ups in other areas, so that you've got the fuel in your tank, so that when you want to, you know, push those boundaries, and that you've got the energy to do it. Because try and do it all the time, if you got your foot to the floor, then it just doesn't work. So yeah, I'm really mindful of that.
So when people come to you, Kim, they've found you, you know, in the online space or the offline, wherever it is that they come and meet you, what are the problems that they're normally experiencing? They get on the phone to you and they go, Kim, I need your help.
Yeah, I think so overwhelm, stress.
Yeah.
They're not sleeping at night, which is just
that's always a big teller, isn't it? Like not being able to unpack everything in the daytime, so you're still trying to unpack it at 2 o'clock in the morning, you see every hour.
Your mind's racing, you can't get back to sleep. They're struggling with anxiety. The biggest thing that I see is enough. It quite often comes around enough. Am I enough? Do I do enough? Do I have enough? You know, and that's that, like I say, that's the duck's feet under the water.
Yeah.
And they're struggling, and, you know, they're struggling with their weight. Maybe they're struggling to prioritize their health and their confidence, and all of these telltale signs. They're not showing up with their families as they would like to. You know, they're snapping at their families and in their businesses with their teams. And, you know, a lot of them are like leaders, and just struggling to again, having it all on the outside, but just struggling on the inside.
Keeping it, because it's when you don't have it on the inside, or you are sat within doubt, or you are sat within, you know, putting yourself on the back burner because you've got to push forward with so many other things, your families, or, you know, like in this case, like with the house that we've got here and all of these sorts of things, you're always pushing forward. And the thing that we have to think, you know, the last thing we think about is ourselves, and it's only when we start to feel those cracks, you're just kind of holding on for dear life sort of feeling. So when people come to you and they're feeling that, so I'm saying, hey, you know, Kim, there's been a lot going on at the minute. I'm holding on for dear life. I feel like I'm on the roller coaster and I'm just teetering on the edge. Like I'm not sure what even is going on.
Yeah.
What's the beginning of the process for you? Obviously, without giving everything away, because, you know, I want people to come to have these conversations. But what does the beginning of that process look and feel like? And the reason why I ask that is because it's scary for a lot of people, admitting that and then coming to ask for help. It's a very frightening thing, especially if you were a successful, you know, entrepreneur or a successful business person. You don't want anybody on the outside to see that you're holding on.
No, and that's where I was. You know, you don't want to admit it. So it is a bit of that sort of, my name's Kim and I'm burning out sort of thing. It's just actually, and, you know, quite often for me, it's just holding space for that person to be seen and letting it all come out. And then really, you know, it's where we start just depends on where they're at. You know, I'm a big believer in you have to meet your body where it's at. And quite often these people are like, you know, for example, if it's weight loss, for example, they're not sleeping at night, they're overwhelmed, they're maybe feeling a bit anxious, and they're gaining weight. They want to stand up, they want to be seen in their businesses, their confidence starts struggling, and they're like, but I run 5 miles every day and I do this. And I'm just like, whoa, stop. And that's where we start, is stop. You know, just take a breath and see where we are. I mean, if there was kind of a hierarchy of where you need to start, sleep. Oh,
I'm here for that.
Because, you know, we know what, you know, you look at a toddler that hasn't had sleep, they're a bloody nightmare. They can't control their emotions. They can't do anything for more than 5 minutes. It's all overwhelming. We're the same. We are exactly same. And
we don't suddenly change in the way that we respond to lack of sleep just because we're older and we push through it with a little bit more self-awareness. It doesn't stop any of those things happening.
No, and quite often, you know, because we're passionate about our business, because we're building our business, and maybe, you know, if we've got children or parents, you know, I'm working with a lot of women now who actually the children are older and now the parents need looking after, or, you know, other people, that it's like, well, I'll just stay up a bit later. Or quite often people say, but that's my me time, and they'll binge watch, you know, have a bit of a Netflix binge.
We're on the circle at the moment, and I want to be in bed I am knackered by 10 o'clock in the evening. I am done and dusted especially with the long days that we've got a big event coming up, but the circle's very addictive, and it's on at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm not getting into bed till 11 half 11. Fuming. I love it though.
No, I've only come into it halfway through, and it's not good, because I'm just like, I can't quite get what's going on.
I am absolutely here for it. I want Saeed to win.
I love that sort of stuff, though. I just love that sort of stuff. But, you know, so that's your downtime, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's your time to do it. But the reality is, you know, if you should be in bed by 10, basically.
Absolutely, I should. As I said to Wallace, I'm starting to feel the knock-on effect on the other end of the morning. I've really enjoyed the first few weeks in the house, being in bed really early and getting up really early.
Yeah, because as well, you know, the whole night owl thing is, a lot of us, very few of us are night owls. We've just adapted to that way, and we've got used to that way. But, you know, and all this thing about your power hour in the morning and the mornings are the time to start. Well, if you're trying to do both of those things, then you're really, you know, failing. So I say to my clients, you know, the gold standard is off your gadgets at 9 o'clock, because, I know. And exactly, it's right there, isn't it? But, you know, at 9 o'clock, we should be able to shut the world out.
Right.
You know?
And what are you going to do at 9 o'clock at night that is super productive? Apart from when I was writing my book, it was the only quiet time. But really, that right in that intense period of time, in that way, I knew in the midst of it that it wasn't healthy, that wasn't, you know, it wasn't a relaxed way of doing things.
You got in and you got out.
Yeah.
You did it. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. I'm not saying, you know, that there aren't times when you just have to step up. Yeah. You know, but actually the key is that you get in, you get out. You did it, because I heard you say you wrote your book in 2 weeks, didn't you?
Yes, I'm an idiot. I don't recommend it to anyone writing a book in that way at all.
Oh, I'm just about to start writing mine, so that'll probably be me. I'm a bit.
It's a great book. It did really, really well, and I absolutely adore it. And some of my best work is in that book. But that sort of 2.5 week intense period of time, I remember putting myself under so much pressure. However, like you say, it was that period of time, and then it stopped, and then I wasn't working through the night again. Like you say, getting out and recognizing that was the case.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, so at 9 o'clock, really, you know, I mean, particularly if you're struggling to sleep, if you're struggling to switch off at night, or you're finding yourself awake at night, one of the biggest things that you can do to sleep is get off your gadgets, because at 9 o'clock at night, you know, again, it comes back to our physiology, and we are just fighting against it all the time. But, you know, at that time, our melatonin should be up, our sleep hormone should be up, our cortisol, which is our get up and go hormone, should be down, and you should be ready for bed. But what happens when you get on gadgets, it's like, oh, you know, your iPhone is like the equivalent of the sun, that amount of light. And because it's a blue light, it behaves differently. So it hits the back of your retina, and it just sends this signal to your brain, it's morning, wake up. So you're awake. Comes up, you're happy, your energizing hormone comes up, your melatonin goes down. So what happens is suddenly you think, oh, I'm going to write another chapter of my book, because you've got energy.
And also, when you're scrolling, you're firing off synapses anyway, so you'll get a piece of information that'll trigger a thought, that'll trigger a thought, that'll trigger a thought, that'll trigger a thought, right?
Yeah. So
there's no space for anything to settle.
No. And with, you know, ideally with kids, you know, you want to have some kind of routine at night, and we're the same. So if you can, at 9 o'clock, you know, off your gadgets, watch a bit of TV, speak to your partner, maybe.
No.
Have a go at them because they don't care.
He doesn't like it when I speak to him.
My husband does this. Like, what's
I'm only joking. We love you, Wallace.
And then realistically, bed at 10. Nothing between 10 and 10:30, rather than reading or some hanky panky.
Right. Okay. Cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah. All right. And then lights out at 10:30. That is kind of like the gold standard. And it, you know, the magic that happens when you get people doing that, the magic happens. They feel better. They've got more energy. They eat better. They're more inclined to exercise. They get their weight drops. Their thoughts are calmer. They are more able to. They're more concise. They're more focused. They're more everything. There's not the overwhelm. They can make decisions better. You know, all of these amazing things fall into place.
Yeah.
It all starts with getting off that phone. And, you know, I've been there. I'm sometimes there. You know, I do it sometimes.
Do you know what? Like having this conversation with you this morning, Kim, and one of the beauties about the show, Rise Up Show, is quite selfishly, I get to have these conversations with, you know, wonderful people like you, and it teaches me something, or it teaches, you know, you guys that are watching at home, it triggers that. Do you know what? I'm actually going to challenge myself. And if you lot are watching, you know, at home or wherever you are, I want you to challenge yourself this week. If anyone is in the switch it off at 9 o'clock club, for the next couple of weeks, because the thing is, as the run up to Be Inspired happens, and it's going to be a huge event for us, that actually I need to be switched on and energized in the day. Dupe, if I'm thinking, all right, well, we're going to sell loads and loads of tickets, that's what we want, the more tickets we sell, the more we can donate to the Fly Anyway Foundation. We really are like going like balls to the wall with it. What are we doing at 9 o'clock at night? Do people want me in the inbox at 9 o'clock at night trying to sell them a ticket? The answer is probably no. So why not wait between the hours of 9 and 9 in the daytime for that kind of energy, and relieve myself of thinking at 10:30 at night, oh, have I done this, have I done that, have I done the other?
And let's use that. You know, you've invested so much time and effort and energy into this amazing event. You want to get to it. And you know,
I don't want to limp in at the starting line, not at the finish.
Oh, right.
We made it.
You crack on.
Welcome. I'm on my knees.
You want to be there with your energy on fire. So, you know, it's just a bit of a paradigm shift, to use that quirky word, you know, of just okay. And you know, some nights should manage it, some nights you won't, but the more you do, just try it and see what happens. Just try.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm gonna make a pledge. IATKB community, assemble. If you have been feeling this, you know, ask ourselves the question: what are we doing at 9 o'clock at night? What do we need to do at 9 o'clock at night that's possibly going to further our business that we can't, you know, make him to productive hours in the daytime? Like, how much dicking about do we actually do because we're tired as well in the day?
And there's a lot of science and and you've got to try this out for yourself, because like I say, meet your body where it's at, see what's right for you. But, you know, if you do that, you can find that you might get up and be able to crack out a really good hour's work in the morning. You know, really like crack out that hour because you were earlier. Or get up and, you know, my mantra with my guys is body before business. Try and do something for your body in the morning before you get to business, whether that's some meditation, whether that's, I heard you saying the other day about doing your meditation and
it's like me on the tuning fork, and I have a little bit of a rest.
Well, I was impressed that you've got the whole setup. I mean, for me, I kick my husband out of bed. I say, he brings me out with a cup of tea. I have a sip of my tea. I put it down and I sit in bed and do my meditation. I sit up, do 15 minutes, and then I'm done. And, you know, I look at it like a little bit of a longer lie-in. There's no...
an extra little snooze for sure. The problem is for me is that if I do that and I do that in bed, that's me going back to sleep. So I kind of like to remove myself from my pit, come downstairs and into my lovely living room and just like kind of be in it and allow that. But that connection time at the beginning of the day is really helpful to just unjumble the jumbliness that happens sometimes in my anxious brain.
Exactly. And just if it's 2 or 3 minutes, I mean, for me, meditation, when I burnt out, was the thing that got me back on track. It just helped me take a breath, calm my thoughts down, and just think about, give me time to think. When these crazy thoughts are coming in my head, the first thing you want to think is it true? Is it really true? Because most of what we think of is made up. We make it up.
And we just make these things up, and your brain and your subconscious will throw these things at you, and you go, what? Where did you come from? And actually allowing yourself to become a voyeur of your thoughts instead of an active participant in them is a huge relief when you realize that you can become a voyeur of your thoughts instead of being in them all the time and feeling like you've got to be in them and orchestrate them. Actually allowing them to happen and watch them is really powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what meditation teaches, you know. It just gives you the time for exactly that, for the thought to, rather than the thoughts are coming in and you're like, oh my God, yeah, no, I'm not good enough. I you know, or they think I'm stupid, or why did I say that, or what, you know, all of these things. And you think you actually believe what you think, when actually a lot of what we do, you know, we'll always think of negative stuff first because we're wired that way. It's a survival thing. We're always wanting to be fitting in and making sure that we fit in and say the right thing. It's a survival thing. But, you know, when you can just learn to slow things down and go, is that actually true? You know,
is it actually true?
Yeah.
Is it real?
And I just say to my clients, you know, imagine that you're in front of a judge and take the thought to court. That was someone told me that once, and I
love it. I absolutely love it. Kim, we're running out of time today, and I'm devastated because I feel like I could just chat to you about all of these things, and you've got so many incredible things to say and share. How do we find out more about you and the incredible work that you do?
So you can find me on Kim Raine Coaching on Facebook and Instagram. I'm just getting into my Instagram. You know, I'm not because I'm so into getting off your phone at 9 o'clock.
I'm here for it. I get it. We've only just, like, in the last 12 months, we've just started to up our Instagram game, and it's great and I love it, but it's just another bloody thing to think about.
Exactly, it certainly is. So Kim Raine Coaching on Facebook and Instagram. I am just about to open over the weekend my Mind, Body and Confidence, my High Flyers Mind, Body and Confidence Lounge on Facebook, which is going to be a group so I can get stuck in and share the love. So if you go on my Facebook profile at Kim Raine, then you'll see it there, and come over and say hi and ask questions and let me know where you're at. I'd love to know.
Brilliant. It has been a pleasure talking to you this morning, Kim. Thank you so much for joining us on the show at Rise Up Show. It's been a joy, and certainly a timely reminder for me and so many of you out there that actually taking hold of those things, allowing ourselves to not have shit shoes and to be looking after ourselves in order to have our growth in business is just such an important conversation.
Looking to see if you're on at 9 o'clock on Facebook.
I promise I won't be. I feel like I love it when I get a little idea like this, because for anybody that knows me, I'm a bit like a dog with a bone, and I absolutely know that the next few weeks for us is crucial. So to be able to look after myself like that, and that's a real quick win, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. So you've got your beady eyes on me. It's all good. I'm here for it. Kim, thank you for joining us, my love.
Take care.
That was the phenomenal Kim Raine. Go and check her out, my darlings. We have got a full day here at IATQB. I'm going to be speaking to a lot of our speakers today, helping them make all of the final tweaks and preparations for 2 weeks today. You lot, we will be in the midst of day 2 of Be Inspired. Make sure you go and get your ticket. If you scroll up the comments, Eve did drop her link. For those of you that sign up via Eve's link, she has that styling day for you as well. I'm going to be dropping more speakers onto my Instagram at the Queen Bee Dani over on Facebook. Please do go and follow me over there as well. I'm going to be dropping more of those speakers into my stories and also here on the Queen Bee Dani page on Facebook. Have a phenomenal Friday. Get into the DMs of the weekend. Tell the weekend you're coming. Come and take some time off. Enjoy the sunshine if sunshine is headed your way. If not, get snuggled up indoors and have a cuddle. I love you so much. Thank you for all of your support so far. Thank you to everybody that's bought a ticket for Be Inspired. Go and grab yourself a ticket if you haven't already. If I do slide into your DMs and say, hey, buy a ticket, don't be offended. It's because I love you, and I think that you will benefit from 2 days of incredible personal and business development. Have a wicked day, you guys. I love you very, very much, and I will see you soon. Take care.